us to speakers time. So so we now have public comment time, and we do have actually 5 speakers who have signed up in advance to testify. And let's see who is still here. Let's see, Dwayne Ludwig. Okay, Mr. Ludwig, and then Andy Ludwig. Come on down. Okay, welcome, Dwayne Ludwig.
Thank you. I know you guys have had a really long day, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak on behalf of the many county residents who feel as I do. I live in the Providence District, and I've already had a phone conversation with Supervisor Smith on this topic in the past. I'm speaking today about an issue that touches on both medical science and criminal justice. It's an issue on which the state of Virginia is falling far behind much of the country, but can still catch up. I'm here to support the common sense reform of marijuana laws. Being elected leaders in the most progressive county in the state, you folks already know the basics. The scientific name cannabis, for example, the fact that nobody has ever died from a cannabis overdose, and the fact that it is significantly less addicting than tobacco and alcohol products. You also likely know that it has been decriminalized in many states since the 70s and fully legalized now in 8 states and the district. And so far it's gone very well in those places. Decriminalization, legalization, and the medical cannabis programs have helped millions of Americans like my neighbor Bob, who suffers from adult onset epilepsy. The legal drugs he was prescribed left him woozy and unable to properly function as an employee and a father. But with a small nightly puff of cannabis or a nibble of an edible, he has been able to cut out nearly all of those horrid side effects and replace it with mild euphoria. Of course, this doesn't work for all epileptics, but it is a godsend to those it helps. On the other hand, my neighbor Bob he risks being arrested and charged with a misdemeanor for choosing this therapy. And that is a charge that remains in one's record, affecting employment, scholarships, custody hearings, and so on. This situation is something that elected reps like you have the power to fix. My friend Eric served several tours in Afghanistan, and while the war continues to this day, tens of thousands of soldiers like Eric now bear the scars of their service. Eric has been arrested and given a criminal record because of his decision to treat his PTSD with cannabis. It works very well for him, allows him to live a nearly normal existence with far less paranoia and anxiety. However, being considered a criminal in the eyes of the law is not exactly a fair trade-off. What I ask of you today is 2 things, one simple and one more challenging, but both are essential to doing right by your constituents. First, in the package of recommendations that you send to the General Assembly in the fall, I would like Fairfax County to support all types of marijuana law reform in the state, specifically decriminalization of possession of small amounts and support for letting doctors decide which conditions qualify for treatment with the cannabis oils that have already been approved for medical use. Secondly, we would like to see the Board of Supervisors work with the Fairfax County Police to arrest fewer individuals for possession. Make it a civil penalty and raise some funds, perhaps. There must be law enforcement objectives that are far more important than marijuana possession. This has happened all around the country already in cities such as Nashville, Philadelphia, and the entire state of Mississippi. So I think we can do it too. Thank you for allowing me to speak today on this important issue, and I hope that you'll reach out to me as you proceed on this matter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. Andy Ludwig is our next speaker. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Andy Ludwig, Dwayne's brother. I live on the other side of Falls Church near Bailey's Crossroads, and I'm a numbers guy. Hope that's okay. I have a 3-year-old, I manage a soccer team, I referee soccer games, and I volunteer my limited free time to speak to this cause because there is no other public policy that Virginia is getting 100% wrong. Most big issues have strong arguments on both sides, and 50 to 60% of people supporting the issue. This is not one of them. The arguments on both, the science falls so heavily on the side of using cannabis as a medicine. The popular support is overwhelming 86% of Virginians support medical marijuana. So I want to offer you some key statistics and other information that will help you understand how much of a problem this is in Fairfax. And hopefully it will help you consider making it a priority for our police and for the legislative agenda sent to our General Assembly members. But before I get into the details about Fairfax, let me cover a little background to make sure we're all on the same page. Dwayne mentioned that its proper name is cannabis, and it has been used as a medicine for thousands of years with no deaths from overdose, and that's according to the DEA. Cannabis has been shown to help treat a variety of conditions, including cancer, Alzheimer's, PTSD, epilepsy, diabetes, and the list goes on and on. And 28 states plus DC offer medical marijuana programs to offer patients the option of using this nearly miraculous medicine. So hopefully you, like a huge chunk of our country, support the notion that it's a highly therapeutic medicine, less dangerous than legal alcohol, tobacco, and many prescription drugs. And that's what makes the specifics about enforcement in Virginia and Fairfax so painful. Prohibition continues in Virginia of marijuana possession. 20,000 Virginians are arrested each year, taking away their license for 6 months and giving them a record, making it difficult to access employment, student loans, and custody, basically ruining a life. Virginia spends about $70 million enforcing these laws annually and diverts them from preventing violent crimes. Here in Fairfax, we spend about $15 million to punish our neighbors for using this medicine. And in Fairfax, we are tops in punishing people. Fairfax arrests 3,000 people per year, most of any county in the state, and it's increasing 12% per year. And yes, Fairfax is the biggest county, so that's not a huge surprise, but even adjusting for a population, it's still the 5th highest rate. You can really see a difference in the cities like Newport News, Charlottesville, or our neighbor Prince William County, where they have deprioritized marijuana arrests and half as many lives are being ruined. This is something you can change. You can direct our police chief to make this his lowest priority. So we'd love your support in ending prohibition by making this part of your legislative agenda for 2018. So thanks for taking the time to consider this issue, and thank you in advance for doing all you can to end this horrible public policy that flies in the face of science, common sense, human decency, and public opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Ludwig.